Greetings, everybody. Just want to put out a quick little message today. I've been listening to a lot of political shows. That's kind of my hobby. I love politics. It fascinates me and all the intricacies and all the things that happen, and the pushing, the shoving, and the minutia of all that happens. And it's been a wild year this year for sure. And I've been hearing a lot of concerning things lately about this current election that's about to happen. Um, One of the things that is really striking a nerve with me is how this is the most important election ever. It's an important election. There's no denying that. All elections are important. I mean, these are the people who were giving we're voting and giving them permission to lead our country, and that's important to be able to pick and choose the right people who are going to represent us internationally, but also definitely what's happening locally in your local state and um, counties and cities. Um, so I urge you to vote. Um, it's good to voice your opinion. It's definitely good to be knowledgeable about what's happening. Definitely locally, that's the most important. But also what's happening nationally too. But the one of the most concerning things is I've been hearing a lot of you have to vote for our team. That that is the most unpatriotic thing I've ever heard in my life. That is the most undemocratic thing I've ever heard in my life. Anybody who tells you need to vote completely down ballot for their team, they're they don't know who's running for your local county. They don't know who's running for your sheriff. They don't know who's running for, well, a sheriff is a nonpartisan position, but they don't know who is in your community and how you want to be represented in your community. So by telling you to vote for strictly one party and then claiming that this is the end of democracy, they just told you that is the end of democracy. When you are taking the advice of somebody who doesn't know you, doesn't care about you, doesn't understand the things that's going through your mind and how you do your daily life, and they're telling you to vote this way, and then they add a bunch of fear mongering that comes with it. Now, I have heard a lot of it from one side more than the other side, but both sides definitely do it. And it's a power grab, and it's a way to invigorate their base, and coupled with this is the most important election ever. No, this is an important election, and things might change. They might not change. Nobody knows what's going to exactly happen. Now, there's some good ideas and projections, of course, but the point I'm trying to get to, and I'm kind of getting into the weeds, is we do live in a democratic elected republic. Through democracy, we're going to elect our representatives who represent our communities. Now, if you saw my ballot, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, my ballot would drive you completely batshit crazy because it's not how anybody thinks I would have voted. That's for me to hold and for me to vote, because that's one of the luxuries that we have in our country, is that it's a secret ballot and I can vote whoever I want to, however I want to. But I will tell you this: as much as I follow the political game, there was more than a few spots I left completely open because I didn't know who those candidates were, and I didn't do my due diligence to research who they were, and I don't know who's going to represent me better. So I opted to not vote in those specific races, just for that reason. I mean, I could have thrown a dart at it and had just as good of a guess as who to win or who to pick. And I don't want to be ran by pure chance. So shame on me for not knowing exactly who to vote for, but I left those empty. And that's also my right. I can vote in whatever elections I want to vote, and I can vote however I want to vote, and I cannot vote. That's also a very viable choice. So I wanted to put it out there to you guys. I have been listening to an awful lot of politics. It's one of my favorite hobbies. It gets a little nerve-wracking sometimes, and I get a little excited about some issues, for sure. However, as much as I'm not happy with some things that are happening in our country right now, it's terrifying to me to hear political pundits, politicians, current and ex-politicians, and now I'm hearing celebrities telling their fans or their constituents that if they don't vote the entire party line, then our democracy will end. Well, I want to tell you that is exactly how our democracy is going to end. If you vote exactly party lines without thought or without any process. Now, maybe everybody on a certain side of the aisle is who you want. By all means, vote for who you want. But don't vote for somebody because it's not the other guy. This is how we got to where we are today. We keep picking the lesser of two evils. We keep picking the person who we would rather win based on the fact that the other person is that much more terrible. They're all terrible. They have a hard job and they do terrible things, and none of it exactly is the way we would do it. But the fact is, that's how our government works, guys. So take your time this weekend, review your ballots. If you've already early voted, awesome, that's great. If you're going to fill out a mail-in ballot, that's great too. If you're going to go down and vote in person, it helps to have your cheat sheet already filled out so you can get in and do your thing and get out. But again, if you don't know who to vote for in a specific race, there's no shame in leaving it empty. There really isn't. Because if you don't know, you could just as easily pick the wrong person as you pick the right person. And voting down ballot exactly for one team or the other team without regard, that's dangerous. And that's exactly how we got to where we are today. Please consider what I've said today, and I don't want to tell you how to vote. That's all on you. And I'll be honest with you, there was a couple of the ballot issues that I was dead set on. I knew exactly how I was going to vote until I really got into the pamphlet, and the pamphlet explained the issue. And on one particular issue in my local area, I switched my vote. And after reading it carefully, I did not like the wording that I saw. So I'm asking you guys that you should get out and vote. That's part of our civic duty. But seriously consider who you're voting for. And no matter who wins on Tuesday, if we even have a deciding factor on Tuesday, but no matter what happens on Tuesday, our democracy, our republic, our country is going to continue forward. Don't let people fearmonger you into voting one way. Vote with your mind. Don't vote with your fear and your emotions. Go with who you think is going to represent you the way you want to be represented. Truly, truly, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you watch this and it means something to you, I'd appreciate a like. And if you don't, send a like. If you watched it anyway and it got something out of it, that's all I hope for, really. Have a great weekend, and take care. And we have some Red on the Road ideas. Just takes effort to get it out. So I appreciate you. Take care.